Um, South Africa is a movie. We live in a drama. It's a series. Every day you will be shocked by something new.
And the worst was Home Affairs.
That's the one I forgot.
That's when I spent 2 years because I was just coming in as Dr. Dlamini Zuma exited to the African Union.
Yes.
When President Zuma called me in, he'd been looking at me strangely for some days, and I suspected there's something afoot. When he called me to his office and sat me down and told me, honestly, I was like, what? Home Affairs? Me? And I was right to be horrified. It was difficult. But corruption was really the worst thing. That our own public servants were very involved in selling documents of our country, visas in a boot of a car, identity documents being sold off. Home Affairs gave me grey hair.
It's sad to see that corruption here in South Africa has been normalized. Listen to the way this woman right here is speaking, our intellectual woman, Mrs. Naledi Pandor. Listen to the way she's speaking. You can actually tell that she didn't do anything to try and fight that corruption that she saw inside Home Affairs. She didn't try and eradicate the corruption. You can clearly tell by the way she's speaking that she was overwhelmed by the corruption that she found in Home Affairs. Why do we have leaders like this here in South Africa, people? Like, on a serious note, why do we have leaders who fail to take South Africa and their jobs seriously? I mean, if you were the minister at that time, you were given that opportunity to run Home Affairs. And when you got there, you found corruption. You should have worked hard to eradicate that corruption. Expose it. Expose the people who are participating in that corruption. Because you are saying you would see some people sell IDs from their boots. But what did you do about those people who are selling IDs from their cars? Did you do something about them? Because personally, I don't remember here in South Africa people exposed that these people were busy selling IDs from their boots. We've never seen that on the news or anywhere. Why is that? That is what confuses me. And it's sad because these people occupy these positions and then don't do their jobs inside these positions. They get there, find corruption, also participate in that corruption, or even if they don't participate in that corruption, but they don't do anything to solve it. And then after their time is done inside those positions, it's then they will come out and tell us that, I was in Home Affairs and there was this type of corruption. There was this type of corruption. Why does that thing happen here in South Africa? And it's the same attitude that our leaders have. If you can look at them when they speak after they've occupied some positions, it's then they will start speaking about the corruption inside those positions because they are no longer inside those positions. But when they had the opportunity to fight that corruption, to expose that corruption, they did nothing. They did nothing. I don't remember Naledi Pandor coming out telling South Africans that the Home Affairs is corrupt. There are officials from Home Affairs selling IDs from their boots, from their cars. I've never seen anything like that. Yet we have to see it right now in 2025. You are telling us about the past. People, what's going on? You had the opportunity to expose that nonsense. Why didn't you expose it? It concerns me, people. It really concerns me. If you've been following me for a while, I'm pretty sure maybe you've seen that video I made about Peggy Cele, where he wants us to go and buy his book because of something that he did in 2010. It's almost the same attitude. It's almost the same attitude, I'm telling you. Is that people, after they occupy positions, they want us to now look back when they were occupying those positions. No, when I was occupying this position, there was crime. When I was occupying, there was this. But what did you do about that? Did you do anything about that? I would appreciate it if Mrs. Naledi Pandor right here came out and said, what? When I was there by the Home Affairs, I found it very, very corrupt. And when I got there, I worked very hard and exposed this one, exposed these people, exposed this operation. I worked there very, very hard to get rid of the corruption. And I actually succeeded. That is what they need to be out here telling us about. You are telling us about the corruption that you failed to eradicate. So what's the use of telling us? Because we already know that the Home Affairs is corrupt. It's not like you are telling us something that we don't know. All of our departments here in South Africa are corrupt. We know that. We know that Home Affairs is corrupt. It's been corrupt. So you don't need to tell us that you found it corrupt. It's still corrupt even now. What did you do? That is what we want to know. What did you do to get rid of the corruption? Tell us about that. And then again, it's going to tell us about Ramaphosa. In fact, let me stitch a video here for you before I speak about what she said about Ramaphosa.
President Ramaphosa, he's interesting. He reads a balance sheet, boy.
Really?
Yeah, you come in and you have something and present it, and it has financials to it. And then he goes, click, 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 something. And then he'll say, 14 billion rand, 3,000 jobs. When you equate that to cost, that is 1 million, whatever. Is that really value for money?
Wow.
And he could do like in a second, in minutes. And you, oh my goodness. And you would have read the same memo, but you didn't get, to those numbers. So don't bring a memo to him with financials and you haven't done them thoroughly, because he's attentive to it, understands. And I think, on occasions, he has saved our economy, because some really mad numbers, he's just said, forget it. This doesn't make sense.
A person who doesn't know these people might think Naledi Pandor has a crush on Ramaphosa, the way she's speaking about him. She's speaking about him as if he's a person who understands finances that we need to respect, because he's a boss when it comes to finances. And you know what I find very shocking? In fact, it didn't come as a surprise to me that Ramaphosa is good when it comes to finances. That thing didn't surprise me, because this man is a billionaire. You can't be a billionaire if you are bad with finances. It doesn't even make sense. This man is a CEO. You can't be a CEO of companies when you are bad at finances. So, Naledi Pandor saying Ramaphosa is good when it comes to finances, that is not a secret. We all know that it's impossible for you to acquire the wealth that Ramaphosa has acquired if you are bad with finances. But the shocking thing about it is that Naledi Pandor is out here praising Ramaphosa because he's good when it comes to finances, but our country is in a bad financial position. We have a leader, a president that is good with finances, but our country is in a financial crisis. So should we really be out here praising Ramaphosa because he's good with finances? If Ramaphosa is good when it comes to finances, that thing benefits him personally and his family. It doesn't benefit South Africa. Because if Ramaphosa's financial expertise was really that good, South Africa wouldn't be in a financial crisis right now. Look at our economy. The worst it has ever been. Ramaphosa's economy, we even call it that, Ramaphosa's economy. The very same person who is said to be a billionaire, a financial expert, who is praised by Naledi Pandor. Listen to Naledi Pandor, the way she's speaking. This is just clearly praising Ramaphosa. She's praising Ramaphosa. So if Ramaphosa is good with finances, why can't he use that expertise of his to make sure that he rescues South Africa from this financial crisis that we are experiencing right now here in South Africa? Why? So it's useless for us to be out here bragging about a billionaire president. That our president is a billionaire, he's good with finances. But that very same president is failing to fix the financial issues of South Africa. Or am I missing something here, people? Am I missing something? Am I delusional for saying if Ramaphosa is really that good with finances, he should have used those expertise to help South Africa? But no, South Africa is worse than it has ever been. But we have a person who is said to be a financial mogul. People, no. But then it's fine. That is just what I had in this episode of The Spotlight. So please tell me on the comment section down below, what do you think about this whole situation? But then if you just enjoyed this video or you learned something new, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. My name is Emmanuel and this is Mzansi University, the place where we transform lives through knowledge and information. Let's meet again on another video.